looks like we're on air. So hello everyone, and welcome back to another TTV PSN fan community game night. I am Princess 1215, once again joined by Coca-Cola
Hello there.
and Daxter Corp HD,
General Kenobi, you are a bolt one.
and no one else today, because the way the beta is, we kind of got it downloaded. Everyone kind of got it downloaded late, so we weren't able to do our normal time. So there's very few of us today, but I think next weekend that's going to change. But that's all I'm going to say on that for now. So so we're playing the Call of Duty Modern Warfare Reboot beta, the PS4 open beta right now. And while I post this in the patron chat, why don't you guys just give your brief thoughts on what you think of the game really quick, starting with Loka.
Based on what I've played, I like it. It definitely feels more like, I guess, old school COD at this point, specifically COD 4 with more slower pace and more tactical elements to it, as opposed to headless chickens running around, which has been the case with the quite a few COD games over the years. So that's my very short opinions about that for now.
That's harsh, but yeah. I mean, it's not wrong by any means, but yeah. But for me, I think it's really fun. I've been playing a lot of Battlefield 4, and Siege, so it feels like a mixture of the two for me. And then it's got that original Modern Warfare kill time, which is you blink, you're dead.
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I'm definitely getting like those feels too, like thinking back to Battlefield and Rainbow Six Siege and even the Medal of Honor 2010 reboot. There's just something about this game that just reminds me so much about that Medal of Honor and its horrible sequel, Warfighter. And I not necessarily in terms of how it plays, but more just how like the game,
the feels, just the environment and
the environments and the setting, and like even just a simple thing as the open it, like the press X to the start screen menu that has the drone footage, which I immediately associate with Medal of Honor, because that game also had had drone feeds as menus. So even simple things like that.
I'm down.
Now you said something incorrect there, Loka. You said press X to start. It's actually press cross to start.
Oh, right.
Are they calling it cross now?
It's not. They're calling it cross now. They've always called it that, and we players are stupid. Or should I say, rather, everyone that's not Japanese players are stupid, because the Japanese have called it cross since the PS1 back in the 90s, and it's a Japanese company. So, really, I mean, when you think about it, they're technically the ones that made it, so they should be the ones that get to call it what it is. But we dumb Americans and British and everyone that's not from Japan have been calling it X this entire time. So.
Have you seen like who all the character? Every character model for the other team is that surfer dude.
Surfer dude.
Look whenever you die. It's hard to explain because I'm stupid.
What?
I heard something.
Oh, nice try.
I'm getting scared now. Ah.
Enemy personal radar in the air.
What?
See, I'm seeing Knock running around more than I'm seeing anyone else.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I thought.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Ow, what?
Very fast time to fill. Is there UAV still up?
No, I shot it down.
Okay.
Ah! That was a random throw.
Okay. Seems to be clear up here.
So I think Prentice is the only one that hasn't said what he thinks about the
yeah.
beta so far. So you want to go ahead or?
Yeah, I've been too busy concentrating on trading fire with the enemy team here.
Yeah,
So
I figured.
okay, is that what you're talking about, Daxter? With the guy in the tank in the tank top, and it's like that's just some sort of random.
Oh.
That's just a random Russian like naval person that wearing something like that is a visual cliche at this point. That's not necessarily a surfer getup.
I don't know what the name was.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
that was Philly.
yeah, you want to see what a surfer looks like. Look at Elysian's summer skin from
Okay.
from Siege, where he's got the swim trunks and the popsicle stick in his mouth. That's a surfer.
I think of that as an American Dad.
Ah.
Oh, he got me.
Okay, so with that settled, so Loka kind of made the comparison that COD in you know the last several years has been, where did that come from? Has been more akin to chickens running around with their heads cut off than you know, like
headless chickens.
yeah, headless chickens running around. It's like that's a.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
I'm surprised I'm not dead. That's a. I feel like that's an apt description for like Black Ops 2 onwards, because we've sort of had this conversation before. But Black Ops 2, the online community for that was just filled with quickscopers.
12-year-olds.
Yeah, that was really the game where the idea of quickscoping became cool. And so because of that, the game was absolutely filled with people running around trying to do that, which was very irritating. Because if you were actually trying to play the game like a quote unquote normal person, you couldn't. Because you would take a step and then someone would jump down in front of you, do a quick 360, and then shoot you right in the face. So that got annoying, and it killed the game. And then Ghost came out, and then it had some of those same problems, and then Ghost just wasn't a great game overall. and then after that, then they started getting more futuristic, and so then we got the mech suits running on walls and stuff, and then yeah, it's Call of Duty's just really strayed from its roots, and yeah, it's
It's just
doesn't
recently come back.
it doesn't. No, it has not recently come back. It hasn't come back at all yet because this game is not out yet. It's so
Oh.
even trying to go back to World War II did not work, because it's like, Loka, did you play? I have not played WW2. I haven't played any of the Sledgehammer Call of Duty games. Did you play WW2?
Yeah, I played it, and it's funny because like the whole marketing campaign around that was revolving around, like, I think there was a live action trailer that was along the lines of get the squad back together. And
yeah, I actually really liked that trailer. I thought that was
You mean
good.
Saving Private Ryan?
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean there was the whole, this game is going back to the roots, and it did in terms of it going back to the setting of World War II, but it was very much still, I mean, COD, like that you would expect from the last few years, just with old weapons and no jetpacks. But other than that, it was still very much, I guess, more closer to Black Ops 2, Ghosts, or Modern Warfare 3, even, like somewhere along those lines. So it was good. I think it sold well. Well, I mean, every COD game sells well.
Yeah.
But it didn't really leave an impact that I feel the hype tried to get back to, which I mean, it had a fair amount of hype, but I feel it kind of died out pretty soon after release, and it was not a bad game. I do appreciate certain aspects of it, but I don't know if it's gonna be one of the greatest COD games of this generation that will be remembered, at least not by me.
That's probably a question we can have like in 2 years whenever the new consoles are out and they've been out. But because we're gonna have to reserve judgment, even though things are looking positive for this title. But has there been a good Call of Duty game this console generation? Because we have Ghosts, Advanced Warfare,
Remastered. But that's an anomaly.
That doesn't count though, because that's a remaster of a game that was released in 2007. That one doesn't count, unfortunately. So we've got Ghosts, Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, World War II, Black Ops 4, and
there's one more. There was one more. Other than this one, there's one more.
And then I guess it'd be this one.
Infinite Warfare? We already said that?
I said that.
Okay.
Yeah, so are any of those games really good?
Nope.
I mean, I guess that means, like, it depends on how you would define a good COD game, because I would say all those games are still good, because they are games that I would say rate at least a 6 out of 10. But I don't know if any of those games. I mean, there's a reason why Modern Warfare being remastered was such a big deal, and there's a reason why people to this day talk about Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 1 and even Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2. And I don't think any of the recent games really are up on that level that have released this generation. But I've always found, like, one aspect of each game to be good and something that I could enjoy, like well, maybe except for Ghosts and Black Ops 4. But even then, I thought, even though the ending for the campaign was trash and the story was trash, I at least thought it was kind of dumb and entertaining. And then subsequent games have always had something like Advanced Warfare I thought was good. Black Ops 3 I did really enjoy the multiplayer.
Yeah, that was a
had-
surprising anomaly.
Yeah, I had a fun time with the Infinite Warfare campaign, and I've had fun time with the World War II multiplayer. I don't really care much about Black Ops 4, but that's. But yeah, I mean, I guess Black Ops 3 for me maybe would be the one that I would say good, at least if we're talking the multiplayer, because I did spend a lot of hours on that one.
Well, see,
But other
here's
than
the
that-
thing with Black Ops 3. I still don't, even though the multiplayer was surprisingly fun, I don't think that counts as a good game because the campaign was horrendous. I'm not even sure it's arguable. I think it's the worst campaign in the history of Call of Duty.
Oh yeah,
So,
definitely.
so that really drags it down. If the campaign had at least been decent, then I would be willing to call Black Ops 3 a good game. But the campaign was just laughably bad. So, yeah, I'm not really sure it can
it made
really.
the Ghosts campaign look good in comparison.
Yeah. And then the Infinite Warfare campaign was similar to the Ghost campaign. It was very mediocre, but that campaign did actually do some really interesting things that I thought were very powerful that I wish had been in a better campaign. Because spoilers for a game that came out in the fall of 2016. There's late in the campaign. There's a level where your space, because remember that was the one in space. There was a level late in the campaign where your spaceship has crashed and one of your men is wounded, and so you're having to help the medic out trying to stabilize him. But the med pack is in somewhere else that the medic has to go running to look after. And so then you're left holding trying to keep pressure on this guy's wound. And so it was like, hold R1 and L1 together at the same time or something like that, and you have to hold that to keep pressure on his wound. And then as you're doing that through the vibrations in the controller, you can feel his heartbeat. And then it gets fainter and fainter, and then he dies there as you're trying to tend to his wounds, and you actually feel his heart stop through the vibrations in the controller. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I thought that was amazing. It's like, why have they never thought to do that before? And why was it in this very mediocre campaign? Why? This is a great moment that deserved a better game to be built around it, but... And why are we still sitting in a lobby? Come on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Modern Warfare is a great game. I've only played 4 matches. Only one of them is live streamed.
This is going to be ironic. I wonder, it is a beta, so things don't always work the way they're supposed to. But I wonder if the servers just went down.
That would be ironic. But then again, would we be kicked out of the game then completely?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Can I see what server I'm on?
I don't think you can.
I think that party servers and game servers are two separate things. So the party servers could still be running, but then the game servers could not be. I don't know. Connecting, because it keeps just giving us a connecting to matchmaking service thing.
Huh.
Hold on, let me look this up. Because if their servers have encountered a problem, then it's very possible that they'll have made some sort of statement about it. It's like
I've checked their Twitter feed.
yeah, I'm trying to find it.
So I think instead of calling this Modern Warfare 2019, we should just call it Modern Warfare Blue. Original was green. It was like all the menus had green on them,
Oh.
and
Oh
the
yeah.
logos. This one's blue. It's got a lot of blue in it.
No, I don't want it. Stupid.
Let's see here.
Yeah, it would be really weird if the servers were down right now, because I don't think they've had any server issues for this beta. But I don't know. Let's see.
Uh-oh, I just... Server connection, login, and webs... server connection and login. What if we try turning it off and on again?
2 hours, 6 hours, 5 hours, 4 hours. So I was gonna see all of.
Not saying anything.
Okay, I backed out all the way, but it kept you guys in a squad. Are you guys still in a squad with me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
It didn't say we had a connection problem, did it?
Well, something
I don't
like this
think so.
breaks, it's not necessarily going to tell us that there's a connection problem.
I checked the Discord server, but I don't see anything about there being something wrong with the servers.
Nothing on Twitter either.
Yeah, I didn't see anything.
It should theoretically be up.
No. Okay. Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can get into something on my own.
Okay, here, and then I'll try with Loca. See if two people can get into something that one can't. luck on your end?
No, I'm still sitting here. It's not finding anything.
Does it say connecting to matchmaking service?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so here's what I think we should do. Well, we close out the application and then we then we get back into it. And then you put up a technical difficulties card.
You can't do that. If you close the application, the stream quits.
Oh. Okay. I guess I'll be the martyr then. Well, hang on. There's realism. Let's see if.
I've been trying all these different playlists, and nothing's been happening.
All right, here I'll quit out of it. Then if anything happens,
oh, hold on.
Oh, something.
Yeah, it managed to find me a realism thing, so I guess everything's starting to come back up.
Okay, that's good. You predict? I wonder if it went out for just like a moment.
I think it did. I think it did.
That might be possible.
Yeah. Let's see.
Unable to connect to host.
Let's see if I get platypus.
I don't know what I got.
Okay. Yep, platypus. Platypus.
Okay, now it worked.
Yep, there we go.
So I wonder if this is just a beta thing, or what. But before the stream started, they had trouble joining me, and then this time around, they had trouble joining me. Both times, I had exited out of the party settings and went back to the menu. So I wonder if you have to be in party settings to allow them to join. That would be weird, but
yeah. Huh. I love how it says our party host is looking for a match.
So there we go.
It's something.
So yeah, everything must have gone down very briefly.
Oh, hey.
We're on the 20-player one, boys. Where we dropping?
Okay, so where were we? Yeah, so Call of Duty, the last, this console generation essentially has not, has not really been, up to the standards of previous generations.
Yeah.
So, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that it was more of the same, while at the same time also changing in ways that weren't good for what the series is. I mean, I think it's good to experiment with long running series games, just so that way it stays fresh. Even if it sometimes isn't, even if it sometimes isn't necessarily a success, I think it is good to experiment. Okay, I think it's good to experiment. One series that's done this is Ratchet and Clank, because you had your mainline series, and then you had All for One, then you had Full Frontal Assault, and then Into the Nexus, which Into the Nexus wasn't necessarily an experiment as much as it was a shorter experience.
Securing B.
But they experimented they experimented a little bit, and then they eventually moved back to the roots of the franchise after trying a couple different things, and it's helped. And I think in the long run, it's helped the franchise kind of stay alive. So,
well, as alive as one reboot game.
Where's? Oh, I didn't realize that door went there. Okay.
Securing Bravo.
Third Alpha.
Got Bravo.
So Call of Duty experimenting isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I feel like they experimented too much, and they kind of lost what made the series great in the first place, and then instead of reverting back to what made the series great, they continued with the experiments that weren't necessarily successful, and then that kind of started to influence all of their decision making when it came to new games, even when they tried to go back.
Yeah.
And here, and like one way to put it too is that after Ghosts, when the game, like that's when the series was just really stale, and Sledgehammer did their well, not wall running, but the boosting and jumping around and all that, which I feel worked for that game, and it was fresh. Partly why I enjoyed that game, to which I assume Activision said to both Treyarch and Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward, just go and do the same thing, as opposed to what they did when Infinity Ward wanted to make COD 4, because here's a fun fact: originally, the series wasn't going to just be all about World War II at first. They only made the first one World War II just to kind of compete with Medal of Honor and make the better game, and then the sequel would move on to modern conflicts. But since the game was so successful at the time, Activision wanted more World War II shooters. And it wasn't until COD 4 they were allowed to experiment with the modern setting, and even then it was only because Activision was thinking, right, well, if this fails, at least Treyarch is working on World at War, which was a World War II game, just to have something to fall back on, which might have been a better way to like, as opposed to all the COD studios making the same thing, eventually leading to the Infinite Warfare announcement trailer to just get completely bombed by the dislikes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so every year Call of Duty always does a live action trailer of some degree. Usually it's filled with celebrities and stuff, because Call of Duty is just that big of a franchise. You can get Robert Downey Jr. for a mere 10 seconds in your Black Ops 2 advertisement.
Yeah. Oh, I had forgotten about that.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, that's a fascinating rabbit hole to go down, is to watch all the live action Call of Duty trailers that come out around launch. I can't wait to see what this year's is going to be.
We've lost Bravo.
in before it's just like
Halfway there, keep fighting.
actual combat footage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I forgot where I was going with that because I got distracted by the game.
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, but that was more of an anecdote. That wasn't really the point.
Oh.
Live. No, what was it? Live action trailers. Something.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
We pulled ahead.
Oh yeah. Okay, I remember now. Yeah. So the Infinite Warfare. Yeah, you know, because every year they do a live action trailer, and the Infinite Warfare live action trailer was kind of borderline insulting, I thought, because you know they were trying to make it fun. It's like, hey, we're having fun. It's a game. You play games to have fun. Hey, and all that stuff. And which is fine, but then it just kind of seemed like,
Hostiles at Alpha. Go.
well, and for another thing, that trailer also got political.
Enemy UAV
It
overhead.
because no matter what side of the fence you're on in terms of politics, let's think back to the fall of 2016 and what great big election took place and stuff like that, and so how some people might have been feeling at the time. So the trailer opens up with these people walking around a very gray place. There's newspapers with the headlines that are vaguely alluding to events in real life.
Got 2 objectives. Keep hitting them. Securing
That were current events at the time that had to do with politics and stuff, and then then there was then there's these people that, and here's something that's interesting about fiction, I find, is that
we're losing ground. Step it up.
is department stores that have TVs on that are in their front window that are always tuned into the news. That way, whenever aliens attack, or or when the heroes need to rally the public or something like that, you can always have a crowd shot of people next to these department stores watching these screens. None of those exist in real life. Why do we keep using this cliche in media? I genuinely wonder, why do we keep using this cliche? I've never seen a single one of these stores that just has a bunch of TVs around where people can stand there and watch. And another thing is, how loud are those TVs to where you can hear them through the glass on the busy street? So that's kind of a little tirade, but so it's a bunch of people doing this, let's watch the TVs through the window cliche, and they're watching it, and then the news is saying, oh, this one political party no one likes is now in office, and oh, the whales are dying off, blah blah blah. And so someone says, screw it, let's go to space, and then they all tap buttons, and then they all get put into those oh my gosh, I'm just gonna blow myself up. Yep, I don't care. Wow, that twirl was amazing. And so then they all get put into the spaceships, and then they get launched into space, and they start shooting at each other with lasers and stuff. So first it goes political, which I didn't exactly enjoy, but then also the screw it, let's go to space. It's like, was that the pitch meeting? Was that the pitch meeting?
I think it was.
Yeah. So I mean, it felt like that they just
must have
worked
been.
what they did in the pitch meeting into the commercial, and it kind of felt like, it's like, hey, here's a bunch of stuff we've done in the past. It's been super successful and has done really well. We're just gonna throw all of that away, and it doesn't matter anymore. It kind of felt like that. I don't know. I might be wrong in feeling that, but it just didn't come off the correct way, I don't think.
We're falling behind. Regroup.
So So yeah, Infinite Warfare didn't exactly go over very well for a multitude of reasons, and then but that wasn't even the trailer Loco was referring to, like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, no.
When we got, he was referring to the, he was referring to the reveal trailer, and I think timing. I think it just happened to be some bad timing on their part because they used a cover of a David Bowie song for the trailer. And it wasn't a I've listened at the time. I watched people made comparison videos. Here's how the song should sound. Here's the dumb cover that they put in the trailer. So the original version's way better. I didn't necessarily like the cover that they used, but I think the big issue people had with that, not that they used the bad cover, it's that they used a bad cover like less than a month after David Bowie had passed away.
Oh.
So. Yeah, and the thing with that reveal trailer had probably been locked for a lot longer than.
Yeah.
So it's not something that they could easily change last minute. So yeah, they were kind of stuck with the choice they had made. Which, if he had not died, everyone would have gone, man, that was a bad cover, and not done anything, and not really thought about it much more than that. But considering the original artist of the song had just passed away, on top of the fact that Call of Duty was going to a radically new place that people weren't exactly thrilled about, yeah, it kind of made for this perfect storm of downvotes that led it to be, I think, maybe still the most downvoted. No, excuse me.
Nope.
One of the most downvoted YouTube videos of all time. The video that ended up taking its place was YouTube Rewind 2018.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think well deserved.
Rewind time.
So yeah.
Oh wow, that's hot.
So yeah, that's and then let's see. I guess the next year was Call of Duty World War II. I liked that live action trailer. That one I liked. There were some things about it that I didn't particularly care for, but I thought the tone was more consistent and it worked better with trying to get the gang back together and everything. Even though, of course, the game didn't exactly end up succeeding in that, but oh well. And here's something else. I think another problem with Infinite Warfare, and this is more, again, talking about the marketing more than the game itself, but that live action trailer, they made the live action trailer, and then they made an extended version of the trailer. And honestly, I just said that the reveal trailer was the #1 most downvoted video on YouTube of all time until YouTube Rewind 2018 came out. Ironically enough, the live action trailer for Infinite Warfare sort of kind of felt like a YouTube Rewind, because it just kind of was like, hey, here's our game, now let's reference a bunch of memes of 2016.
They did?
Yeah, because remember when Michael Phelps memes were a thing in 2016?
No.
That you're better off for it, but Michael Phelps was a meme for just a little while back in 2016, and they had him in, and they put him in that trailer.
Oh.
And then there was other stuff like that.
Looking at the weapons right now, they've got a good mixture, I think. And of course we can't play.
Is this a case where we're gonna have to disband and rejoin the party after every match?
That's what I'm thinking. It is a beta, so we have to give it a little leeway. I'm sure this will be an issue that they'll have worked out by the time the actual game releases, but I'm starting to think that's what it is that there's something screwy going on with the party system and the matchmaking. Hey,
So
well,
leaving
talking
them.
about Infinite Warfare again, this is still working
Oh,
better than
yeah.
the Infinite Warfare beta because back in the day, whenever the Infinite Warfare beta came out, so I will always stand by this. I did not buy Infinite Warfare. I bought Modern Warfare Remastered, and I got Infinite Warfare for an extra $20 on top of my Modern Warfare Remaster purchase. So because of that, I did pre-order the game. So because of that, I got a bunch of beta codes. They sent me a whole bunch of beta codes. And then after they sent me a bunch of beta codes, they sent me more beta codes. They sent me a slew of beta codes. I've distributed these beta codes amongst the people in the TTV PSN fan community, and then we all downloaded the beta, the Infinite Warfare beta, and then we all got on to play. And then nothing worked at all. and so then, like a week later, then they came out with the open beta for everyone, and it was working. And then I think we got on and we played like 2 rounds, and we all collectively said, "This sucks," and we played something else. So
They told me it was Siege.
no, it was not Siege. I think Loco was the only one that had Siege at the time, because I don't think I even played Siege until early 2017 when they had that first free weekend. So no, we did not play Siege. I can't remember. I think we played I think we played Battlefront 2015. I think that may have been what it was, because most of us had it.
That sounds about right.
But yeah, okay. So we're gonna have to disband
Okay.
again. Annoying, yes, but it's a beta, so.
Actually, I might be able. Oh, never mind.
This is gonna take a while, isn't it?
Yep.
So, how do you guys feel about the ground battle thing?
I am looking forward to that, because essentially what it's looking like, it's going to be Conquest from Battlefield. So let's see if Call of Duty can out Battlefield, because we talked about this a couple times. But Loka, give us a status report on Battlefield 5. How are things going over there? Because it doesn't seem like they're going very well.
Well, it is getting better, because everyone was celebrating because the last patch not only added the new content and fixed some things, but most importantly, it didn't break anything as well.
That's good. I sent you guys invites. Did you get it?
As opposed to every other patch, which always breaks something.
What did it break last time?
I honestly, I don't remember, and I think most of that seemed to be on the PC side of things, because I haven't had that many issues with the PS4. But it's I don't really know where to start, really. I mean, there's just a general unhappiness with the quality of the game, which well, it is getting better, so that's always something. There's also been unhappiness around the lack of content, which again also getting there. I'm trying to think. Also some general unhappiness about the fact that it wasn't that it was a World War II game instead of a modern setting, because that was a thing before the game was announced. I noticed a lot of people in the Battlefield community who really wanted a modern Battlefield again after Battlefield 1.
I don't blame them.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always thought that was weird, because we had like 4 or 5 modern Battlefield games in a row, and then we had one historical Battlefield, and everyone was suddenly like, okay, can we go back to modern now? And I'm like, what?
Well, yes,
What?
we had one historical Battlefield, but in between the last modern Battlefield and the historical Battlefield, we had Cops and Robbers Battlefield.
Yeah.
So even
So
though even though you look at the games released, it's not that many. In the years between releases, it had so.
Yeah. Granted, I
We're
wasn't
in a
really
truck.
on the
We're in a
World-
truck.
Oh yeah, there are things like I'm not in a truck. Granted, I wasn't really on the World War II hype either at first, because I was like, well, Battlefield 1 is kind of a World War II shooter, but with a World War I skin in some ways. So I honestly but I wasn't ready for going back to the modern setting again. So I wanted something like Vietnam or the Korean War, but then they talked about the that's also another thing with the Battlefield community, because when the game was announced, they said, "Oh, we're gonna feature the unknown battles of the World War II," which is why I got more interested, because I'm like, "Oh, hey, like a World War II game that isn't all about D-Day. That's a nice change." But that's also something that there's a general unhappiness about in Battlefield community. That's like, I mean, sure, Norwich is like kind of cool, and the Africa, of course, is good to have. But like, where's Iwo Jima? Where's D-Day? Where's all the famous battles? But again, we're sort of getting there. But yeah, it's just general unhappiness with Battlefield community, which is why there are definitely a lot of eyes from the Battlefielders on the new COD, both with the modern setting, but also with the Ground War 64-player game mode, which I'm definitely interested in about. My prediction is that it might be fun, but I don't think it's gonna outdo Battlefield, because there are still elements to Battlefield that this game doesn't have, like destruction or
So I make the joke. I make the
streets.
joke that Modern Warfare reboot is gonna out Battlefield, but it's not, because there are those differences. But at the same time, I think it could create a similar, if not new, experience. Because of course, they've got the large lobbies. There's vehicles, but at the same time, there's just those core gameplay mechanics that are different between the two games. Where Call of Duty is all about kill streaks and the kill streak rewards. Where that didn't work. Where Battlefield is destruction and vehicles and slower paced combat. So I think so it's not gonna, in reality, it's not going to out Battlefield, but I think it will create a new shotgun. It'll create a new experience that okay. Yeah, that's not I think that's one of those beta things. I went to do one of those, peek through the door maneuvers, but then on the other side of the door, there were 4 enemies in the room, and on the other side of the door, they just saw me phase through the door. So that's one of those beta things that I'm sure will get patched out by launch.
In that garage area.
Yeah, I'm still very interested to try it out, and also I think it's good that like they are experimenting with that, because it's not something we've seen in a COD game before, so it's definitely interesting to see how they will pull it off and how it will feel to play with 64 players.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of how they're doing the vehicles. Just being completely honest with you. Don't like the it's a kill streak.
Oh yeah.
Well, but that's Call of Duty though. So
Yeah.
if you change that for one mode, then it begs the question, why don't you change it for the whole game? So it's one of those things that that's got to stay the same just for consistency between for the game. So I'm excited to see how that could affect gameplay.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
HQ is green. Get the move on.
We're in the house. We're in the house.
We've secured the HQ. Stay alive.
Because kill streaks, that's with Battlefield, the thing that vehicles add is an advantage. Is even if you're losing and you manage to get several vehicles together to go toward an objective, you can turn the tide by using a vehicle.
I
So
can't believe I survived.
UAV overhead.
so then with kill streaks are of course rewarded for kills. So if one team is dominating the other, then you're going to have the issue of it's going to be difficult for it's going to be slightly difficult for a team that's doing bad to then get to then. They're all over the place here. To come back from just being dominated. So I'm wondering if maybe kill streaks, I'm sure there's going to be some and again, we haven't seen gameplay. We don't know what it's going to be like. But I do wonder if there's going to be some sort of system where kill streaks, where you'll have some kill streaks available to you, like right now, where you get your kills and then you get your rewards, but then the more powerful kill streaks are the stairs are right here, okay. But then the other kill streaks are then found not dissimilar to, and this is the thing where it's like, that could ruffle some feathers, where if some of the more powerful kill streaks like attack helicopters or AC-130 gunships, if those are found as tokens on the battlefield to pick up, so that way it's a little more fair. So then what I'm alluding to there, of course, is like Battlefront 2015, which that wasn't exactly a popular. What was that? Killed? What do you mean killed with munitions box? That's weird. That wasn't exactly a popular thing, so I don't know if they would do that. But because it's Call of Duty and not a Star Wars Battlefront game, which has traditionally been a Battlefield clone. I wonder if maybe it would go over better with Battlefield than it would with with Battlefront, because that's something else, is that I say pick up with tokens, but would they necessarily be picked up with tokens, or would or maybe during every 3 minutes during the match a bunch of care packages are dropped on the map. Like every 3 minutes neutral care packages are dropped on the map which then anyone can pick up, and then that's how you get the more powerful kill streak. So that way, even if your team is getting just absolutely stomped on, then maybe someone risks it and they run out and they grab a bunch of powerful kill streaks, and then they they can turn the tide that way. So I don't know. It's just a thought. I guess we'll find out next weekend what it's going to be like. So
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
Definitely.
Hey, I think I got a double kill with the Claymore. Nice.
Nice.
Meanwhile, I got killed while trying to pick up my...
Allied UAV overhead.
Don't forget to use blast shields and all that.
Setting Claymore. Enemy
Also, speaking of contentions within the community, what do we feel about Infinity Ward stance on the minimap?
I
What's
haven't
their
really been
stance?
following it all that too closely.
Okay, so basically, they went out pretty early, I believe, when the game was announced, and maybe it was that someone had tried it earlier, like some YouTuber or influencer or whatever, where they said that the game doesn't actually have a minimap as standard. It only shows up when there's a UAV activated, so it would be... I mean, the reasoning was probably to give the game a more tactical feel. Siege comes to mind, which also doesn't have a minimap.
Correct.
But the community hasn't really been thrilled about it, and saying that this game needs a minimap. So, like right now, there's a minimap up, and that's part of them testing, because for the first day or two, they didn't have the minimap up there unless a UAV or something like that was activated. Now it's up there, but it doesn't show enemy players as red dots when they fire their weapons. They only show up, well, when a UAV is activated. And then next weekend, when the ground war game mode is gonna will be live, that will be when they experiment with, okay, let's have enemies show up on the minimap when they fire their weapons as well. So that's kind of the situation in a nutshell, really.
Yeah, I guess the really good, that's the gist of what I've got from it, but I didn't really know if there was more to it than that. So I guess I did have the whole story. So I mean this comes down, from what I've seen, some of these arguments come down to the fact that Call of Duty players are
Used to the minimap.
they're a little more casual of players, so they don't necessarily always play they can't necessarily always transition to other shooters very well, because they may be a little more difficult.
10 seconds. Get ready to move.
So this is something I've been seeing thrown around on Twitter a lot, where someone, it's like, you know, this is why the new Modern Warfare is bad, because of all these different lines of sight. You know, you could have and then it's someone standing on the map, and it's someone standing on one of the maps with red circles around all the places where an enemy could be standing, or in a window or something, ready to take them out. So it's one of those things where that seems like, okay, that's actually it seems like it's a pretty typical, you know, modern shooter thing where it's like, I mean, if it was Battlefield, it's like, okay, if you're to take out the HUD and everything that screams this is Call of Duty now, and you were to and you were to say that this is a Battlefield game, I'm not sure anyone would really have too much of a problem with it. But saying that this is a Call of Duty game, that's where people start to complain because of all the different areas, you could be shot from. And I think that's really something about the more recent games, because people in the comments of those videos are or not the videos, but of that tweet are saying, well, no one let this guy play Modern Warfare 2, which had all sorts of, that had all sorts of maps with lots of places where people could get you from, like Favela or Skid Row or stuff like that, where there were windows and stuff all over the place. So it was there was, so I mean that's one of those things where it's speaking to the way that modern COD has modern and the more recent Call of Duty games have been conditioning these players to play. They can't, they don't necessarily play the way players.
Go to the back. Go to the back of the map, west.
I don't know. Even like 5 years ago, played just because of all the differences in light. Because that's something else I've been seeing brought up more and more, and like with different people pointing out different things. Is that map design in Call of Duty the last several years has not been good. There's a reason Modern Warfare 2 had every map in Modern Warfare 2 is iconic, and then it's like you can't. I couldn't tell you the name of a map from Ghosts or Infinite Warfare. Well, I didn't really play the multiplayer to Infinite Warfare, so I mean that's a problem right there. But come on.
Are they upstairs or downstairs?
Yeah, a problem with COD maps in the last couple of years is that every single one of them has been 3-lane maps, especially in Treyarch games.
Yeah.
Which I guess it works for making competitive and balanced maps, but doesn't necessarily equal fun maps, especially when every single map has that 3-lane structure.
And whenever map has a 3-lane structure, then every map is essentially the same.
Yeah.
So
what about these maps?
Yeah, these maps are all completely different.
You're at 3 lanes of.
Now the one we were just on, I think that one kind of has some general. You could see where you could have some 3 lanes of combat there, but there's also, but then there's verticality. You can go up, you can go down. There's buildings to run around in that also break up those 3 lanes. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go again. So Sushi's in the chat. He says, "Shoot, I forgot. How is it?" It's very, very good. We're enjoying it so far. We've been.
It's waiting for the matches is the problem.
Yeah, because right now we've discovered that after every match, you can't find another one if you're in a party. You gotta disband the party and then reform it and then join it, and it's very irritating, but it's one of those beta things. So you just kind of have to suck it up and then hope it's fixed next weekend type things.
Yeah. Yeah. But hey, I got 2 kill streaks. Yay.
Nice.
That says that I think that means nothing to you guys. But I'm bad at this game.
So I sent you an invite, Loca. Did you get it?
Got something, and then I joined a party that was disbanded.
Okay.
Where?
There we go.
Okay.
Oh, hey, they got rid of the pick 10 system.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean that again. That's one of those things that's stuck around forever that didn't need to stick around forever. Because the pick 10 system, when it was first introduced in Black Ops 2, I don't think was a bad system. It was a nice change up. It was interesting. But then they used it for literally every other game since, and they didn't need to use it for every other game since. So it was very annoying.
Like, to be completely honest with you, I hated pick 10. Always have. It limits how crazy and stupid your guns can look. And it doesn't. I know it's in the sake of balance, but
What?
they need to do.
No,
They need to.
not really. I mean, if anything, the pick 10 system gave you options to be more crazy with your guns and your loadouts and stuff, because you didn't have to have, here's your primary, here's your secondary, here's your perks. You could choose to not run any perks. You could choose to not run any primaries. You could choose to only run what am I thinking of? You could choose to only run a pistol. You could only run a pistol with a knife, and then the perks required to be a ninja, essentially, and do stuff like that with. So it so if anything, it actually allowed you to be more creative with your class, which is again something that for it to be in Black Ops 2, I thought it was an interesting experiment. I thought it worked well. But then again, that maybe that okay, he's dead. Maybe that is one of the things that caused that game to that game's multiplayer to kind of falter after a while, is because people were spending too many of their battle points or whatever in the pick 10 system into just giving them the most powerful sniper rifle of all time. But I thought it was an interesting experiment, and after that, it's not necessarily something that needed to stick around. But it was something that had its merits. That if it had not been abused, I thought it actually was a better system than the classic create a class system that we had since Call of Duty 4. But as I said, it was abused. So I'm glad that we've got our more traditional create a class system back.
I think. Well, I like Battlefields personally, just because you get an optic, underbarrel, underbarrel. You don't get a magazine size, but you get an accessory and one other thing that I cannot remember. Accessory, underbarrel, grip. That was what it was.
Which, speaking of this game, sort of has as well, with its
Yeah.
gunsmiths.
It's. I guess balance isn't the right word anymore, is it? It doesn't feel restrictive. I don't know what I'm trying to say at this point, but
Enemy cruise missile, take cover.
Oh boy, oh boy,
there's
oh boy.
there's two. It's getting out of hand.
Yeah.
Ah.
Securing the HQ. long as you can.
I'm down.
Oh boy. Dang grenades.
Dun.
They disabled the HQ. Reinforcements inbound. Get ready. We move soon. UAV is ready for
So glad we're not playing realistic. Someone would have died.
New HQ is
Yeah, I feel like I'm dying really fast. Just whoa, normal settings. I'm afraid to know how fast it would take realist.
Yeah. Yeah, LMGs would be very useful in this game.
HQ is green. Get the move on. UAV is out of fuel. Returning to resupply.
I think they're on the same clan. That's what it looks like. 3 of them are.
Dang it.
HQ contested. Go. We're at the HQ. Stand by. HQ south. UAV is ready for flyover. Falcon fuel.
Anyone have a deployable shield we can put up?
Ouch. Ah.
Perimeter breached. Defend HQ. HQ contested. UAV out of fuel. Returning to can't send reinforcements yet. Hold for the next wave.
Nice.
Oh, ah!
You shouldn't have said anything, Loka.
I jinxed it.
Way to go, Loka. Gosh.
I got a lot of
Oh, well.
UAV assists there. Nice. That's nice.
Yeah. I got 2,
Ah.
HQ established.
I like this Desert Eagle. It's not fast, but it packs a punch. It's a 2-shot.
Oh yeah.
I quite enjoy using it. Have you tried the sniper rifle yet?
No, I don't snipe.
It's pretty fun. It'll shred some people up.
Yeah, I've been doing surprisingly good with that.
They're capturing the HQ. Go. Enemy VTOL.
Oh my goodness.
Airstrike is coming. Be waiting.
Oh, you only show up to 1 kill streak.
We're taking the HQ.
They're all by the HQ.
Cruise missile incoming.
Oh shoot! I didn't realize I had a VTOL.
That's 3 of them.
This is Falcon 3-0. Good copy.
Oh, I got
Oh,
executed.
that's a headshot.
So the
feature
VTOL is just
I
a
wasn't-
renamed Harrier jet, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a Harrier. I mean, it's
Got it.
that's what a Harrier yet is a VTOL.
Yeah. Alright. Okay, so sniper rifles will destroy, will be very good against,
Move soon.
will be good against VTOLs. that'll be good to
Well,
know.
I mean, they're 50 cal bullets, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun fact, I learned that from Halo. Thanks, Halo.
We do not mention that name here on a PlayStation console.
Okay, fine. Whenever it comes to PC, is it fair game?
Ah, he's behind me.
I'm done.
Oh, that was a frag. Ah.
They're capturing the HQ. Go.
Shotgun time. I hope they added more weapons.
Yeah, that's something that I'm hoping for as well, is adding a few more weapons, because it does seem to be a little low.
Lacking.
Of course, the argument could be made for quality over quantity, but
Lots of weapons is fun.
yeah, that is the thing, is that having lots of weapons is nice.
Yeah.
Oh, it is nice, and also it's like all of the weapons in Modern Warfare 2 were, there was a lot of in that game, and I think they were all of high quality. There wasn't really any that's like, well, this weapon's not any good to use. So, ow, hot.
I'm down. Alright guys, for Mother Russia.
For our lord, Tachanka.
Hello. Okay, speaking of Tachanka, I've become a Tachanka main. Please help.
Why? Why do you need help with that?
Yeah, I mean,
Is this a good thing?
Yes.
yeah.
Get to the next HQ.
Okay. Bow down to your
He's our
superior.
Lord and Savior.
That and Gonk Droid and Gabe Newell. I think we're a bunch of like pagans.
Well, I'm sort of, so I guess that's.
Did I step on something a little too sensitive?
No. I was just
He comes from a Scandinavian
least-
country, so
They're capturing.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to say, well, we have at least 1/3 right now that sort of is, but
Enemy cruise missile.
at the same time,
thought-
I'm not like those crazy people in that Midsummer movie. Not that I've seen it, but I've only heard things about it. And no,
Wait,
we're
what
not
movie?
that crazy. There's a movie called Midsummer. Some American movie.
That's a Shakespeare play.
There is one with a similar title, but it's a movie about some. I'm pretty sure it's Americans going to Sweden, and they get to participate in our ancient tradition of Midsummer, which then turns into some sort of like cultic
It's a horror movie.
things.
Oh.
And yeah, well, actually, based on what I've been told, it's not really a horror movie because it's not scary. Apparently, it's just really, really weird.
So whatever.
Again,
Yeah,
I
it's
haven't
like The
seen
Sixth
it.
Sense. So it's whatever genre The Sixth Sense is.
I guess maybe.
Enemy UAV overhead.
That was a good flick.
Yeah.
Enemy cruise missile. Take cover.
Whoa! I swear, there needs to be a game mode where, or at least a setting, to where all ragdolls, like, ragdoll dramatically.
Yeah, the ragdolls in this game are actually pretty good. I'm really enjoying them. I hope that makes it into the final release.
I mean, they had that in Infinite Warfare. I think the funniest thing about that game was the jester game mode. We had to kill people with, like, what was that? Like, you switch your fingers down and they die. Is that what it was called?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, me
Okay.
either.
I'm glad I'm the only crazy one here.
Enemy UAV overhead.
It's possible that there is a game mode that you're referring to that you can't remember the name of. We didn't play the Infinite Warfare multiplayer, so we wouldn't know.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Infinite Warfare, is that the one we're talking about?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They call it Infinity Warfare.
I haven't played that game mode, but I know what you are
Okay.
talking about.
UAV overhead. Allied UAV overhead. UAV down. HQ active. Move to secure. Enemy on the HQ.
Thanks, Loka.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Welcome. Oh. I mean, I wouldn't hate it as a limited time mode or whatever.
Uh,
Cruise missile. Take cover.
Oh no. Oh.
Ha!
30 seconds.
Ah.
Allied cruise missile launched.
we got 20 seconds. Do they win or the thing goes away?
Until the match is over, we spent too long. No one's gotten enough points to win, so it's gonna end.
This should probably be fixed sooner than later. I'm down. Behind us.
Location secured. Get ready. We move soon.
Okay, the timer stopped.
Yeah, I know. I've been seeing that it stops recently.
Huh.
Get to the next HQ.
I don't think there's any reason why it should, but whatever. I'll take it. Behind us, behind us.
Enemy UAV overhead. HQ is online. Secure it. We're taking the HQ. HQ contested.
Ah.
We're out of time. Move.
Wait, how did I die? I'm confused.
Time limit
Okay,
reached.
I don't understand the time on this one.
Time only runs down when people are capturing the objective.
Okay.
Hmm.
I didn't do terrible. Thirdly.
Oh, I got a new rocket launcher.
Sick. Alright, I'll leave the 30 and then
Oh yeah, right. It's...
here, I'll leave again.
Gotta do the leave and rejoin.
Yeah. Don't worry, you don't have to wait for anyone. Let's look at that.
Domination.
Yay! Something I like. Oh, that's cool. It's got that like the opening of the missions thing.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I really
that's
like
clever.
it.
That's clever. I like that. Yeah.
Domination. Capture and defend the objective. We're taking Charlie. Got Charlie. We have control. We lost A.
What shotgun? Are you guys using any shotguns? Or have you guys used any shotguns? I should say.
We lost Charlie.
I'm actually using it right now.
Oh, you are.
Yep.
We're on Charlie.
So I prefer to stick to things that I can fire in a burst.
We're falling behind.
Ah.
So I don't typically use sniper
The second
rifles or
shotgun.
shotguns.
The second shotgun's fun.
UAV overhead.
Awesome.
Yep.
We're on Bravo. Stand by. Alpha secure.
Ah, dang it.
Oh, I was behind cover. What the heck?
You're needed at Alpha.
Reloading.
We lost A. We have taken control.
Where's that coming from?
Enemies taking Bravo. Lost Bravo.
Oh!
Securing Alpha. We're on Alpha. Stand by.
In front of you, Loka.
Assist your team at Charlie.
Did you get him?
Yeah.
Holding Alpha.
Okay.
All points are ours. Gives them
Outside. Outside. He's crouching.
assist your
Oh.
team at Charlie.
Okay.
We lost C.
Not sure which way he was gonna coming from. Oh yeah, I can come here.
Reloading. Need backup at Alpha. Securing Charlie.
Now, I've said this game has a more tactical feel to it, but I just killed someone by sliding
Allied cruise missile launched.
and jumping a little bit like it was Black Ops 3.
At the end of the day,
okay,
it's still going to be Call of Duty, no matter what improvements they
Yeah.
make to it. So
Well, I'm a fan of different movement options in games. That's just my thing. So I don't mind the slide. I think it's quite fun, actually.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Oh, that's just a body.
You're needed at B. UAV is ready for flyover. This is Falcon 3-0. Good copy. Enemy at Alpha, go! Securing Charlie. We lost.
blast it.
Yeah. I'm down. They're at B. One's in the little mini structure.
Securing A.
Ah,
Assist your team at
dang
Bravo.
it.
UAV is out of fuel.
That was
Returning to
annoying.
resupply. You're needed at Charlie. Bravo. Advance your positions. We're falling behind. We're taking Alpha. Bravo. We've got Alpha. We captured Bravo. Enemy cruise missile. Take cover.
No.
They can't get us inside here,
Enemy
inside B.
UAV overhead.
Oh, they're behind us at B.
We have 2 objectives. Get Alpha. Go.
I'll go to A if you guys got B.
We lost Alpha.
Alright, we got B again.
Allied UAV overhead. We're taking Alpha. We're taking Alpha. Losing A. Securing Charlie.
Ah,
Charlie
they're
secure.
coming for B.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy at Bravo. Go. Enemy at Bravo. Go. We have 2 objectives.
Oh, that was dumb.
We lost Bravo.
I'll keep B locked down if someone wants to come and cap it. I've got a nice angle on
Your
him.
team at Charlie. Securing A. Securing Bravo. Enemy cruise missile. Take cover. We are looking to take your point. Alpha secure. We captured Bravo.
Second floor, second floor.
Really? Thanks, Claymore. You really helped me out there.
We have 2 objectives. Take the third. Allied cruise missile launched. Allied UAV overhead.
Nice.
Enemy UAV overhead.
So I found out that you can do a bunch of different grabs to work your way up ledges. Like there's like some pallets that you can jump onto to get onto one of the higher elevations in B.
Securing Charlie.
Whoa.
Allied UAV overhead. Need backup at Bravo. We're on Charlie. Stand by. Allied. Enemy. Cover. Enemy has Bravo.
That's 2.
Securing Bravo. Enemy UAV overhead. Allied cruise missile launched. Assist your team at Alpha. We're on Charlie. Stand by.
What's the
Okay,
stage?
this
We're falling behind.
second RPG won't fire at the UAVs even when it's locking on.
This is our fight. Stay
Huh.
Interesting.
Hopefully they fix that.
at Charlie.
Yeah.
Got Alpha. Losing Alpha. Enemy personal radar overhead. Losing A.
So I just thought of something. Going back to our conversation earlier about having more weapons in the game. When we were playing the Alpha Loca, I feel like we used more weapons in that 2v2 Alpha than I'm seeing here.
Yeah.
Which ones do you think are missing?
We're on Charlie. Stand by.
I think there's definitely the case of considering they are
Bloody and empty-handed.
limiting the level caps and only increasing it a little bit every day, so you can unlock new weapons. I think that's the thing here, because there seems to be a fair amount of weapons. It's just that we can't get a lot of them because we can't reach those levels. I mean, I'm looking at. There's the FAMAS. Yeah, there's a couple of more assault rifles and SMGs and shotguns and such that we can't unlock.
Yeah. Well, some of these don't even have levels on them. What I'm noticing.
Also, I don't like how the game consistently likes to throw me out from the creator class or gunsmith.
Yeah.
Because it's something.
Same map, team deathmatch.
Okay. Kill anything that moves.
Yeah, this is a. Oh wow, it's already started.
Team deathmatch. We've got enemy inbound. Lock and load.
Oh, that's 3 of them. That was a Han Solo turn the corner moment right there.
Do you want to do the stream, or should I do the stream?
No. Yeah, I was playing this yesterday, and I think I got a 15 kill streak.
If it weren't for what?
Friendly UAV overhead.
Are you kidding me?
Enemy UAV overhead.
Okay, so I shoot this guy point blank in the face, and it doesn't kill him. Yet this guy gets me on a 1 tap.
It's what?
An assault rifle.
Oh. Huh. I wish they had a ping tool for the like they have in Battlefield and just because.
Yeah, it's one of those features that I feel every FPS should have at this point.
Allied cruise missile away. You're in the lead.
I just think it makes it more fun. More fun and it's helpful.
Oh, that was dumb. I went to chuck a grenade at this guy downstairs, but I put a claymore down instead.
Oof.
Yeah, I gotta check for those.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Oh, that was friendly.
Yeah, I've shot at more friendlies than I have enemies for some reason.
Oh, hi, Knock.
Oh, okay. They're all at A, where A is.
It's team deathmatch. There's not any objectives.
Where A was. Objective A.
Oh, again, the friendly. I forgot I had smokes now.
Flash.
Flashbangs.
Yeah.
And there was a body.
We're halfway there. Keep fighting.
Also, who's returning as not, yeah, who's returning as, Price's voice actor?
That sounded very
Right.
echoey. I couldn't understand a word you said.
All the explosions and screaming. Am I thinking of, it's not Soap, who am I thinking of? The main guy. That everyone loves.
Captain Price.
Yes, thank you. Yes. Who's his voice actor
Got a UAV on
in this game?
I don't think they've said yet.
Oh.
They have, I just don't remember his name. I think it's Barry something.
Oh yeah, you're
Barry
right.
Slow. Is that the one? I don't remember.
Is he the original or?
No.
No.
Have you watched the trailer? Because that's his voice. Yes! Ha ha ha! The Claymore.
It's been a while since I've seen the trailer.
Double kill.
Speaking of, I don't remember the name of the OG voice actor either.
Billy Murray.
Oh
Bill
yeah,
Murray.
that's right.
Because it's so eerily close to Bill Murray
yeah,
that
I
it's
was
easy to
about
remember
say
that.
not to. Yeah, not. I was about to say not to be confused with Bill Murray.
As cool as that would be to have Bill Murray play a character in Call of Duty.
Well, I mean,
we
we've got
got
Jeff
Kevin
Goldblum,
Spacey.
so
And Kevin Spacey.
yeah, but no one likes Kevin Spacey anymore, so we don't talk about him.
Did anyone like Kevin Spacey
Huh?
to begin with? Did anyone actually like Kevin to begin with?
Yes.
Hey, does anyone have a UAV?
Nope.
No.
No.
Oh, I do now.
UAV overhead.
Nice.
Okay.
Also, speaking of voice actors, I don't know who's voicing the SAS announcer guy, but he sure tries to sound like Craig Fairbrass or whatever his name is.
Yep. So I mean that's
AKA
leading.
Gas,
That's
AKA
yeah. That's
Ghost,
yeah.
AKA
Warcraft.
I forgot which one in Modern Warfare 3.
Wallcroft.
Yeah,
We're getting up
that's
in
right.
chat for Ghost.
Yeah, I mean that leads me to wonder if, because his voice is so similar, if this and because of tradition, if this is Gaz that we're hearing as the announcer. Because we know some people are returning.
I was
we just
about
don't
to
know.
activate that.
Top marks.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's confirmed that Soap is returning.
Yes, we know that much.
Yay! But who are we playing as in the story?
Soap. It's Soap for the SAS, and
That was a good kill.
it's Soap for the SAS. That's all. And then we're playing as the leader of the freedom fighters in the Middle East, and then I think we're also playing as the Marines. So it's just
Because of course we are.
yeah, but we don't know who we're playing there. I feel like it could be Sergeant Jackson or Ramirez from Modern Warfare 1 or
Ramirez.
2. Just, but it could also be a completely, excuse me, other random person.
Listen.
So,
If,
yeah. So I think we'll halt things there for today. We've been going for almost 2 hours. We've shown off a good bit of gameplay. Had some discussion. And another reason I'm calling it a little earlier than usual this time around is that we're also going to be back doing it next week. And next week when we do it, if things go correctly, I'm not going to say what I've got planned. But
Oh no.
I will say that if things go the way I hope they go, we'll have a special treat for you guys next week when we come back for this. And
And for the kids at home, he hasn't told us either. So
yeah, well, I've said you're just obviously oblivious. So so hopefully
okay, great. I have to go back into the chat.
yeah, exactly. So hopefully that'll work out. If it doesn't, then it'll just be, I guess, then I guess it'll just be another regular game night. But hopefully it'll be what I'm planning. So until then, thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff to my channel. I'm of course Prince15, once again joined by Coca-Cola
Bravo 6 going dark.
and Daxter Corp HD.
He stole my line.
All right, and we will see you guys next week. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.